Welcome back to this tutorial series on working with the True32 website template. This video tutorial will be about adding or editing text blocks for any page of your website, including images within a text block. There's two ways to get to pages to make edits. So from your dashboard, once you're logged in, you can go to Pages on the back end and then open a page to edit, and you can see here that when I float over any of these pages I get an edit option. But what I really want to do if I'm going to edit text blocks is always load the BBM builder. Don't ever go to edit unless you're just editing a slug or something like that. So when I go to this edit button, it's taking me to the editor that's part of WordPress, and we don't want to use that. Now if you do that, you can still jump into the BBM builder right here just as easily, but my preference would be if I'm going to edit a page like this Bath Albums page, that I would just go straight to from that navigation to get to. So let me go discard this. Instead of going through that edit and then clicking on that button, I would go from the pages and find the page I want to edit and then go straight here. Another way to get to a page to edit is just straight from the front end. So as long as you're logged in and you see this black bar at the top, that means you're logged in. You can navigate just like you would if you were working on the website. Everything works exactly the same. But if I want to navigate to a page and work on it, I just come to that page that I want to work on. And I'm going to use this one as my example because it has some images, kind of inline images within the text, so we can talk about both. And from here you have this BBM builder option right here. You just click right there. Pretty clean and pretty quick. From here you actually have blocks that everything is in, and there are different types of blocks. So if I click on this text block, you see that it's a text editor. If I click on this block and edit it, you can see that this one is a heading. And so within these builder blocks, this is just the easiest way to deal with websites, is to use these tools. You have here a general tab, a style tab, and an advanced tab, and different types of blocks will have different controls, but they're very similar from block to block. In this case, this one is considered a heading, so it's looking for you to put some text that's going to be in a large print. In this case, we're using the H1 tag to say we want a large font and a bold font kind of thing. But you also can style it here with font. Now, I don't use a lot of this. I usually use the internal customizer or CSS, and we'll talk about those later. But you can if you need to. The problem with doing it here is if we style this here, then if we want to edit it, and every one of them styled, there may be on this page, there's half a dozen or more of those headings, and if we style them one at a time, if we ever want to change something about them, we got to go to every one of them and edit it. So I don't recommend using this. In this case, I'm styling it based off this H1 tag using CSS, and again we'll discuss that. But if I wanted to change this header text, it's just click in that box and change it for a header, and you will be changing the text that's going to show right there. So I'm going to cancel this, and then I'm going to come down here to this one that has both the text and an image. So in here, in this text editor, brings up a little box, looks a lot like your word processor. You see you have all your same controls that you would have in Word, where you can index left, center, index right, have a bullet points, have a numbered list, bold, italic. In this text tab will show you the actual HTML code that is generated based off of that. So make sure you're not here and just typing, because it won't be styled at all if you do that. You only come here if you know what you're doing. So right here what it's doing is it's entering that picture that's in there from this A tag to this, from here to here. That's everything that it is to make this image be the size it is and what it is and where it's located on the page. If we could look for just a second at it, we'll see that it's loading an image that's contained on this website, that at this address in this location, and that is going to align it to the right, and it could be aligned to the left or centered, and it's telling us what size it's going to be, and here's the 25 by height, the height by the width. So everything is listed here of this image, but for you it's really easy. So I can just come in here and start typing anything I want. If I didn't want that to say process, I wanted it to say this actually, something like that, I can just start typing. And then if I want that to be bold, I can just highlight it, say it's bold. If I want it to be italicized, italicized. If we come back to text, we'll see that there's now some code in here to style that word. But right here, we've added an image, and to do that, we just use this simple Add Media button. So if we came let's come down here where there's not an image, down at the bottom, say we want to add media, and then we would go to our media library, and I'm just going to pick something totally random. Let's stick that cabinet right there in there. Just take it, stick it in there, and now when it's in here, I have the option to say that I want it to do, so what this is doing is saying let the text be above it and below it, but not wrap around it. This is saying put it on the right side and let the text wrap to the left. This is saying put it in the center of the page and no wrapping, and then this is saying let the text wrap. And there's no text down here at the bottom for it to wrap, but you see how it's wrapped around it when you use that wrapper. So, and all I got to do to get rid of all that is just cancel, and that picture will go away and all that. But then if you save it, when you get done saving your text, so you make your change to your text or your image or your header, any of these things, you make your changes. When you get done, you say I'm done, and if you want to save it, you publish it, and if you've made some mistakes, you discard it. And if you just want to save it as a draft because you need to go to lunch, or you need to take a break, or you need to take a phone call, you can do that as well. I'm going to discard it because I didn't really make any changes, but I don't need to save those changes. So that's it for this video on adding or editing text and or images on the text blocks for any page of your website. Next we will look at adding or editing images to your galleries. Thanks for watching.